Not the. Oh, it like threw something in my eye. I didn't even have anything in my hand, and somehow like I like threw something in my own eye. What the fuck was that? Something did just like fling in my eye. That was crazy. Anyway, Big Lou, what up, baby? How you doing, Lou? Lou and Erica, number one and number two, first two in here. That's why I love y'all, dude. I fucking love y'all, man. Appreciate you guys more than you know it. I appreciate you too. I appreciate everybody, but I really do appreciate you too. But yeah, I'll wait till a couple people get in here. Talk about what's going on, the aftermath of the trial, what happened, what happens now, da 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 da, shit like that. Where this leaves the Calvert County situation. Yeah, we will discuss all of that. I also need to wash a couple of these dishes so I can make some food real quick, and boom, two birds, one stone, baby. What up, though? Ginger Locks, Buzz, Big Lou. Oh, sorry, my hand's a little wet. All right. So, okay, yeah, as most of you may know, I obviously had court this past week. What's today? Saturday. This past Monday, and then ultimately Wednesday. They couldn't have it on Tuesday, so they had to have it on Wednesday. But so yeah, I had court in Cecil County from when I was up there supporting the angry vaginal, and all of that shit happened during his court trial. So yeah, basic little like small background on the situation. My disability of autism. So I technically don't have autism yet. I am disabled. Uh, while my doctor believes I may be on the spectrum, I only have a diagnosis of ADHD, and the disability itself actually comes from a different medical condition. But thank you for for being interested. What was I even saying? My bad. That threw me off. Yeah. So boom. I ultimately had the trial on Monday. We go up there, da 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 da, and it was just the same shit from the get go that I knew was already going to happen. I put on the record all the issues that I had with them, like jurisdictional issues, them giving the judge special treatment, blase blase blah. That's what my doctor thinks. A high functioning autistic person. Unfortunately, it's a lot harder to get a diagnosis for autism when you're older. Uh, and again, I might not even have autism. So, if anything, I think I would be on the outside of the spectrum. But yeah, we were working towards getting a more definite diagnosis, but definitely was diagnosed with the ADHD for sure. Um, but yeah, so no, anyway, I brought up all these issues on the record. He basically was like, I hear the issues you're bringing up, but I don't have any remedy to do anything about it. Da 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 da. Sorry. Like I brought up how back in January they had an attorney that they hired. I didn't hire this attorney, and it's not a public defender. It's a private attorney that the state hired to represent me. And for whatever reason, uh, Cecil County held court earlier than it was scheduled to be held, like 20, 30 minutes earlier than it was scheduled to be held. And they had this private attorney that they themselves hired sign his name for me on the line where it says signature of defendant, ultimately praying a jury trial and forcing my court case back into the court where all of this happened at. So I was scheduled to come into court at 10 o'clock. I was going to be there at 10 o'clock. I was actually going to be there like 3 or 4 minutes before 10 o'clock. So I had called the clerk to let her know, hey, listen, I'm going to be there like, you know, between like 5 to 3 minutes before court starts. Can you let this attorney that you guys hired know? That way he doesn't like freak out or get worried. I haven't been able to get a hold of him, but yeah, I'll be there before court's supposed to start. We're good. I'm getting dropped off. Boom. I get there at 9:56 or 9:58. And as I'm walking in the doors, you literally see me. It's 9:58. I'm getting ready to walk through the doors of like the courtroom itself, not the courthouse, the courtroom. Dude comes out and is like, "Oh, are you Mr. Tracy?" I'm like, yeah." He goes, "Okay, here you go," and gives me the paperwork for me and says, "Yeah, we went ahead and prayed a jury trial." I go, "What? What are you talking about? Court's not even fucking in session yet." Now, they tried to tell me that there's nothing they can do to rectify that issue, that because they already had court on the record and prayed a jury trial, that there's nothing they can do to remand that back to the other court. So they themselves literally, in here, I'll go get the paper real quick so y'all don't think I'm bullshitting you. Give me a second. Boom. So y'all can check the, actually, I don't know if the case number will be the same. Um, it should be because this came from district. The only thing that'll be different is, it won't be a D, it'll be a CR because it's in circuit now. But yeah, on January 29th, they had, boom. I don't know if this is backwards or not. Or here, let me actually, let me turn this around. So his name was Spencer Gordon. So I guess this is his signature, and it says Attorney to Tracy, where it says signature of defendant. This is where I'm supposed to sign to say, yes, I am praying a jury trial. This is what it literally notice to appear in the circuit court. So he signed a notice to appear in the circuit court for me. So they literally held court earlier than it was supposed to be fucking held at, and had this attorney that they hired sign for me to come appear for this trial in the same court where the issues happened at. Like, come on now. So we filed a change of venue motion, and ultimately, they denied the change of venue motion and tried to say, oh, we won't be giving any special treatment. We won't give any type of special treatment. But then 20 minutes later, they were talking about giving the judge, who's a witness in this situation, special treatment. And they did throughout the entire trial. At one point in the trial, I literally had to stop and ask them if Ashton Kutcher was hiding behind a door with a $10,000 check because they were fucking with, like, are you guys fucking with me? I looked it back in the courtroom at my buddy, and I go, am I speaking Chinese at this point? Like, I mean, it was just ridiculous. It like didn't matter what I said. They just kept being like, well, there's nothing we can do to change it now, so we're just gonna go ahead and keep going. The judge tried on the first day. The judge gets up on the stand, and then we get him off the stand because we had some issues we had to bring up, and then they tried to say, oh well, he has a doctor's appointment, so we got to hurry this up. We got to hurry this up because he's got to go to his doctor's appointment. It's like, he's a subpoenaed witness. What are you talking about? He's got to go to his doctor's appointment. No, he needs to stay his ass here for this trial because that's what he's subpoenaed to do. If I said some shit like that, you guys would put a bench warrant out for me and take me to jail. Like, what are we talking about here? So, yeah, basically all that dumbass shit happened. They hold the trial, da da da, and multiple times I had to stop to bring up how they were giving this man special treatment. They the trial basically comes back on Wednesday, and we finally get the judge back up there since he's not at his doctor's appointment anymore. And the entire time he's just a hostile witness. Everything that the dude that like my attorney would ask him, every question he would go, I don't know. I mean, what's on the video? Play the video. Play the video. Play the video. He's screaming at like my attorney. The witness on the stand is screaming at the attorney who's questioning him to play the video instead of answering the question. And it's like, in what world is that acceptable in? We would make an objection. He would keep answering the question. And I would go, Your Honor, can you instruct the witness to stop speaking when an objection is made? He's not supposed to keep answering the question. No one says shit to this man. The judge doesn't tell him to stop speaking, even after I bring it up to him. He doesn't say that to him. Again, special treatment. Because this man's a retired judge from this courthouse, you allow him to just like blatantly violate the rules of procedure. When a witness is on the stand and an objection is made, the witness is supposed to stop talking immediately. If he doesn't, the judge is supposed to remind him, sir, when an objection is made, you need to stop talking until we hash the objection out. Not only would he keep talking, he would keep screaming at us on how to do our defense. Then I'm sitting there. The state's attorney who's prosecuting me is the one playing the videos for our defense. So he's up there literally playing a video of just random shit going on. He would play the 8-second clip that we needed, but then he would let 4 minutes of just like random background noise play. These people are watching the video up on the screen, waiting for something else to happen, not listening to what's going on because they're watching the video thinking something else is going to happen. I literally had to go, Your Honor, can we control our own exhibits? Like multiple times there was this like this like what's the word I'm looking for? Like prejudice type of fucking behavior exhibited by the court against me. They were giving the judge who was a witness, or a retired judge from that courthouse who was a witness in this case, special treatment. They let the state's attorney slash prosecutor be the one to play our exhibits. And again, he's screaming at us to play the video instead of answering the question, and the judge doesn't say shit to him, dude. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I got acquitted on 2 of the 3 charges. They said, yeah, there's not enough evidence to find you guilty of the disobeying a lawful order or the disorderly conduct. So now, help me figure this out, right? There's not enough evidence to find me guilty of the disobeying a lawful order. Now, the lawful order was to leave the courtroom, right? So there's not enough evidence to even send that charge to deliberation. I was acquitted on that. Not even enough evidence for the jury to deliberate on it. So they said, okay, you obviously didn't disobey the lawful order. There's no evidence of that. But then I'm found guilty on the trespassing charge because I disobeyed the lawful order. They said that I refused to leave the courtroom, which was the lawful order that was given. But yet there wasn't enough evidence to even have them deliberate on the disobeying a lawful order. So how, if I didn't disobey the lawful order, did I disobey the lawful order and refuse to leave? It literally makes no sense, dude. So yeah, not only was I found guilty on the only charge that they deliberated on, but he gave me the maximum amount of time. The charge calls for 180 days maximum, 6 months. He gave me all 6 months, full 6 months. Not a single day more could he have given me by fucking law. And again, I brought it up multiple times. The jurisdictional issue. Like, again, I don't agree with this. You don't even have jurisdiction over this case right now. It was remanded to your court through improper procedural misconduct. Like, I didn't sign that paper. I didn't pray a jury trial. I didn't ask for my trial to come to the court where it's supposed to be at. And then on top of that, every judge from that courthouse recused themselves. Every judge recused themselves except for the one who prosecuted me and allowed all of this shit to happen. And it's because his courtroom is right next to the judge who's on the stand as a witness. Like, they worked right next to each other. They were best buddies. They were butt buddies all fucking day long. And he literally gives this man special treatment, fair treatment, and then gives me 6 months in there. So yeah, I literally got the entire amount of time. The angry vaginal got found guilty on 8 felonies and didn't get a single day in jail. I got found guilty on 1 misdemeanor and got the maximum fucking penalty. Maximum. Fucking insane, dude. Like, I had even said everything that I could like possibly think of. I go, look, since this, like, I've been on pretrial release since January of this year. I think technically it's been since December 29th or December 30th of last year, 2024. So basically every day of 2025. So once a week, I've been having to go to Calvert County and take a urinalysis. I've never failed it. I've never missed it. There's never been substances in my piss that's not supposed to be there, like not even alcohol. My levels have never been off, nothing. I brought all of that up. I brought up how I haven't got any new charges, how I've been reporting to my probation officer in Anne Arundel County. I even asked him to implement a sentence in the form of community service. Well, a community service sentence in the form of me going out and picking up trash. I will literally continue to do what I do by walking around the neighborhood and pick up trash for multiple hours. I will send video evidence and kind of give me like a community service sentence in the form of that, instead of me just going to Goodwill or one of these dumbass places that makes money off people's free community service hours. I could actually go and do something that benefits the community, helps clean up my community. He didn't care about that. He didn't want to hear that. Literally gave me the full amount of fucking time, dude. So like, we live in a world where you can get 8 felonies and have no jail time. We live in a world where you can diddle kids. Like, let me say that again. You can fuck literal children and get no jail time. But God forbid you say something to a judge during recess. He literally said, and you hear it plain as day, he goes, "We're going to take a recess." So court's not in session. Yet somehow when I say one thing to the judge, I go, "Your Honor, you know you can't say you're not following the rules in front of the jury." Then he said something again. They started screaming. Him and Kevin argued. Kevin said something about me being right. He said he didn't know who I was. And I said, "I can repeat myself if you like." And I said it again. And he goes, "Your butt's out of the courtroom." Within 9 seconds, less than 9, it was like 8.2 seconds, I stand up and I walk out of the courtroom. When I go to get to the door, you see the bailiff pointing and screaming at someone behind me, but I think he's talking to me. He goes, "Shut your mouth. I told you multiple times today to da da da." And I'm confused because I haven't said a word since I fucking got up from the thing. And I'm like, multiple times. So I turn around to be like, "What are you talking about?" He shoves me through the door. And then that's when Gary Coleman comes in there and grabs me and slams me up against the wall eventually and da da da. So, like, they only tried to play this courtroom audio, which, arguably makes me look bad because I do say 2 things. But again, we're not like, court is not in session, court is at recess. But then you hear me raise my voice when I'm all the way out in the hallway. Bro grabs me by the nape of my neck and slams me against the wall. And you hear me go, "Bro, get your fucking hands off of me." Or like, "You don't need to put your fucking hands on me." And they tried to add that as if it was in the courtroom. They don't sync up the video and the audio. They only play the audio by itself because they know the audio is going to like make me look bad because I raised my voice at the end of it. So they're trying to say, and he goes in his closing argument, he goes, "You're going to hear Mr. Tracy say, 'I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.'" Like a little kid. He kept repeating it like 4 or 5 times. Not once did I say that. I said exactly what I said. "Your Honor, you know you can't say he's not following the rules in front of the jury." And then I can repeat myself if you like. And I said it again. And then he tells me I'm out of there. So I fucking leave. Like, dude, it's crazy. We go to get to the stairwell to go down the stairs, and I'm trying to tell the man that I need to go down the elevator. I go, "Bro, I don't do well downstairs. I need to take the elevator." He has his hand on the back of my neck, and I can play all this in another, I can do another live stream and bring up all these videos. Now that the case is over, I can show you guys all the evidence, all the court videos, all this shit. Fuck them. I'm showing y'all everything. He uses my face as a battering ram to open the door. He goes, boom. So I literally go smash my face into the door, and as I go to like step through it, I grab the stairwell for like less than 2 seconds to be like, "Hold the fuck up! What is going on?" Bro's not even wearing a badge, and he admitted that he wasn't even wearing the proper uniform. But yet somehow I'm the asshole that's like refusing a lawful order and da 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 da. Then you see me 2 seconds later, I literally walk myself down the stairs. Like as soon as he identifies himself as a court person, I'm like, da, da, like I walk. One of the state's attorney walks in front of me, then I walk down, then the Gary Coleman bailiff walks down behind me. No one has their hands on me. I walk on my own accord out the door, up to the people, let them put me in handcuffs, and within 20 minutes, I'm taken out of handcuffs. They shake my hand, or they let me out the door, and then they shake my hand and let me sit out there and wait for my fucking party. They didn't file charges until 2 days after this fact. I wasn't even arrested at the said time of like this entire incident. Yet somehow I got the full fucking 6 months, dude. 6 fucking months. And then when this is said and over, I'm going to have to go to Calvert County on a VOP because this obviously violated my probation. So Calvert County is going to want to give me the full backup time. But again, remember, I shouldn't have any backup time down there because they amended the charging docket to say only 90 days. Yet when we get to court, they tried to lie and go, oh, we just recommended the judge not give him more than 90 days. Yeah, we recommended the judge not do that. No, you amended the charging docket. They even tried to do it in this case in Cecil County. Right when the judge goes to acquit me of one of the charges they had up there because they tried to say that they tried to say that I disrupted court multiple times by speaking out and by my cell phone going off. My cell phone had never fucking gone off. They're retarded, and there was no evidence of that. So as the judge is about to acquit me on it, the state tries to amend the charging docket to drop the word cell phone so they can literally get, and it didn't say like talking and the cell phone or like mention it later. It literally said talking multiple times slash cell phone as if it was like the same thing. So yeah, he tried to like amend the charging docket to change the language so that way the charge wouldn't be acquitted. But the judge wasn't having that shit. It was too late in the thing, and we would have had to agree to it because he was changing the nature of the charge itself once the trial had already started. And obviously, we're not going to agree to that. So I was acquitted on that. So yeah, again, acquitted on disobeying a lawful order, acquitted on disorderly conduct, but I was found guilty by the jury on trespassing for somehow that they say is because I refused to leave, which ultimately would have been disobeying the lawful order. But yet I didn't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. All of the shit. For those of people that didn't, that weren't in here earlier, give me a second. I'll show you guys the video, or I'll show you guys the paper where they had this attorney sign his name, where it says signature of defendant. So he signed his name for me on this line so that they could force the. Let me show y'all. Boom. Again, this should be the same. This should be the same case number from the thumbnail. But instead of the D, because that's for district, it'll say like CR. So it should be. Oh wait, there's CR right there. Circuit. Maybe it just says C for circuit. Maybe CR is criminal. But yeah. Anyway, this goes from district down to the circuit court when this like little shit happens. So, bro, Spencer Gordon, attorney to Tracy signs or attorney for Tracy. Signature of defendant. That doesn't look like my signature. That's supposed to be the signature of the defendant. So again, they held court 30 minutes earlier than it was legally scheduled to be held at 10 o'clock. Like maybe not 30, maybe it was only 20 minutes. Sorry, let me not speak ill of them. Maybe it wasn't at 9:30, maybe it was at 9:40 that they held court and had this man sign on my behalf for my case to go back down to the same courthouse in front of the same people, the same colleagues where the issue happened at. Like, come on now, dude. This is like look, it doesn't matter how you feel about me, how you feel about people that make YouTube videos, whether you like my personal character outside of First Amendment auditing. This should scare anybody because it just shows that literally if they don't like you and you don't have money for private counsel, they can do whatever the fuck they want and just literally like violate rules of procedure, have people sign for you, forge your signature, do whatever the fuck they want, and there's nothing you can do about it, dude. Who am I gonna like? Making a YouTube video is not gonna fix it. It's not gonna change anything. I brought it up on the record. Bro literally goes, "Yeah, I hear you. That's a valid thing, but like, there's nothing I can do about it now. So we're just gonna go ahead and have the trial." Like, what are you talking about? Then they themselves wasted all of this time and then tried to say, "Oh yeah, we had to go beyond the Hicks date, but we found good cause to go beyond it because the defendant had asked for all these postponements and da 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 da." Like, what are you talking about? First off, they weren't postponements; they're called continuances. Second off, y'all were the ones that fucked up and didn't set this shit on for June 30th. From July 20 or January 29th all the way to June, none of that time is charged to me. It's all to them doing it on my behalf. I didn't sign that paper. I wasn't the one who didn't give me the discovery for the trial, But if we don't have the discovery and all the evidence, that obviously presents a prejudice situation where I can't provide the best defense for myself, which would be a violation of a Brady statute, which actually comes from a case here in Maryland. So I know the judge knows about that, but yet somehow they're trying to say that's my fault that they didn't give us the discovery. So then, like, May comes and they try to say, oh, yeah, we're going to set this in for early June. Then early June comes and they still hadn't given me all the discovery. We find out that they had not given me all of the evidence. There was still other evidence I didn't have. So, boom, I get that evidence. And he goes, okay, we're going to have a trial on June 30th. Then they didn't set it in. So, like, a week and a half later, it's like June 15th, and he's like, oh, yeah, they actually didn't set that in, so we can't have that trial on June 30th. They want to set it in on July 21st, but the state is opposed to it. And I'll let you know what happens. The state's going to file a motion in opposition, blah, 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 blah. No one says anything to me. The court doesn't send me a summons, nothing. All of a sudden, July 20th, the night before trial, he tries to be like, okay, so da da da. These are the questions I'm gonna ask you tomorrow. This, that, and he sends it to me at like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? The last time I talked to you, you said the court wanted to set it in on this day, but the state was opposed to it, and you would let me know what was going on. They try to be like, oh, well, that's your fault, Mr. Tracy. Like, da da da. No, it's not. You guys said the court was going to be on June 30th when we were fucking here. I was physically here. This is what we said. You didn't do that. No one else has given me any like judicial notice, any actual legal notice of any date since we were here on June 9th, and you said it was going to be the 30th. So how the fuck are you now trying to say 12 hours before court that I need to be up in Cecil County because you guys fucked up? But again, they tried to charge that to me. So when I'm at a hearing on August 4th, a Zoom hearing for like a motions thing. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Well, actually, no, I didn't say it then. They tried to slickly add right at the end that all of this time had been charged to me, so they found good cause to go beyond the Hicks date. So I'm like, before I could even say anything, they removed me from the Zoom call. They go, okay, da 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 da, defendant, he said, like, the defendant, something on the record, be here this date, da 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 da. All right, thank you for your time, sir. And they removed me from the shit, basically saying, okay, the defendant is going off the record. And they kicked me out of the Zoom call. So I couldn't even say anything. I go and do some research, and I'm like, wait a minute. You guys are trying to say it's my fault that all this shit happened, so you can have good cause to go beyond the Hicks date. And that's not cool. Fuck that. I'm not okay with that. Like, none of that time has been charged to me because it's all your fault. It's Brady violation after Brady violation after procedural violation after jurisdictional violation. Like, fuck out of here. So, yeah, that's the issue. They found me guilty. I do have to turn myself in on Wednesday by 5 p.m. to the Cecil County Detention Center. So, remember, you can diddle kids. You can videotape in the back lobbies of a private hospital, a VA hospital, and get 8 felonies. And you can do all of that. You can even be at the local library drunk and take a shit on the floor in front of kids when they ask you to leave, and you'll get no jail time. But God forbid you tell a judge outside of court during recess, not during court, during recess, because that's what he said on the record, and he admitted to saying it on the record. God forbid you tell him, Your Honor, you know you can't say he's not following the rules in front of the jury. God forbid you say 12 words or whatever it was and criticize someone about their fucking job when you don't have money to afford private counsel. So, moral of the story, I should have just diddled kids. I should have just videotaped in the back lobby of a hospital. I should have just done all this other shit and I'd have been fine. But, instead I said a couple of words and then left within 8 seconds. I go, I don't know what world you guys live in, but if I ask someone to leave my house and they left out the door within 8 seconds, with not only did they leave out the door within 8 seconds, but within that 8 seconds, they stopped to turn around to say, oh, Samantha has my keys, or I rode with Samantha. Can you get the keys from her so I can at least sit in the car and wait for her to come out when she's done? Da, da, da. I did all of that and still made it out the door within 8 seconds, but they tried to say that I refused to leave. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It was just ridiculous. Like, Sometimes you got to be like, oh, shit's a sham. They were on this. They were out to get me. They were da da da. They were this. They were. How come? And it's on video. The man told me September of last year when he put me in cuffs, little Gary Coleman. He said, yeah, 60 days in Calvert County wasn't enough for you. Maybe 6 months will teach you a lesson. Now, how is he going to tell me back then that I'm going to get the max penalty for a trespassing charge? And then I literally do it. I get exactly what the bailiff says. Like, come on now. The bailiff of that courtroom, the bailiff of the courtroom where the judge presiding over my case is from, literally told me in September of last year that I was going to get 6 months when it came down to it. And that's exactly what I got. Like, come on now, dude. Come on now. I mean, like I said, the state's attorney was controlling our exhibits. The retired judge as a witness was on the stand. Not only were we talking about having to speed up the trial, and we're going to go ahead and skip doing some things that we should do because this guy needs to get out to a doctor's appointment today, but we want to make sure we can have the full amount of time with him. Like, no, he's subpoenaed to be here. He shouldn't be going to a doctor's appointment at all. Fuck that noise. Like, dude, it's just crazy. So yeah, nah. There's some paperwork that can be filed, obviously. Like, okay, normally if I got found guilty at a bench trial in district court, I could automatically appeal it by praying a jury trial, and it's called a de novo appeal. So I would get an automatic this de novo appeal to go down to circuit court and have a jury trial. But because they had someone forge my signature or sign for me on a fucking piece of paper praying a jury trial, I don't have that option. They took away my de novo appeal. So now I have to go to the appellate court and ask the appellate court to either grant me a new trial, overturn the conviction, acquit me on this, reduce the sentence, whatever the appellate court chooses to do. But they took away my automatic appeal option from me. So, like, the average person would have gotten an option where, okay, they were found guilty. You gave them a week to get their affairs in order. They could request a it's called a bond on appeal. So as soon as they file the appeal paperwork, they're given a bond, whether it be a cash bond of like a high value, a low value, a bond where they're on pretrial, an ankle monitor, a GPS, like whatever the judge may decide. It's called a bond on appeal. But again, I'm not getting that option automatically. I have to ask for the appellate court to take up my thing. Now, I can get the appeal bond if the judge grants it, but as far as actually getting appeal on the case itself, on the trial, that is up to the appellate court. I don't just automatically get to have it heard by a jury trial now. They took that away from me, literally. Again, that should scare everybody, regardless of like your political affiliation, whether you like me, whether you like auditors, whether you like whatever. It should scare you because if they can do it to my dumb ass, they can do it to you too. They can do it to your family. They can do it to anybody. And that is not something that you want, guys. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to let everybody know what was going on again. I did all that I could. Well, originally I asked for 30 days before the sentencing hearing because every other time I've had a jury trial, they've always had a sentencing hearing like 30 days after the actual trial itself. So I'm not quite sure why he was acting like it was some like uh, some unknown thing that I was like thinking was going to happen. But yeah. I thought of everything I could. I even offered out a sentence in the form of community service where I could go around and clean up trash in the neighborhood while I do my walks, but he wasn't having it. So yeah, I'm going to 6 months of jail for a single misdemeanor, and Kevin's fat ass got no jail time for 8 felonies. That's the world we live in, guys. That's the world we live in. I can obviously do a live stream at a later point in time where I can bring up these exhibits and show you guys this stuff, like from the discovery, what I was talking about. But I'm making food right now, and I just cleaned my hands again from that steak blood, so I don't feel like running upstairs trying to move this. I don't think I could even move this to the computer right now. But yeah, y'all know what I'm saying. I'm gonna come back to you guys in a little bit, maybe 2, 3 hours, or it might be tomorrow. But yeah, stay on the lookout for a post giving you guys some updates. Appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out with me for a little bit. Y'allthebomb.com. All right.